All right, I forgot to play intro music. All right, guys, we're pre-gaming here for a few minutes because it's technically a little challenging of a show. We're going to be live streaming on both Spaces, X Spaces, and YouTube. By the way, Bitcoin, do you like that call I just made in the Discord? I just piled into, let me see. Bitcoin, I believe, has broken out. I'm in MSTR call options. I'm in BMNR call options. And I think I want to increase my MSTR. The line that I was looking at right here, you can see it on my screen. We're going to get started on bull in just a second. We're going to be talking bull. Banners there about what we're doing, Year of the Bull live stream and the giveaway that we're doing and the CC we're playing. Just put all that in the bottom so people know what to expect coming up. But MSTR, man, up 7% on these calls. And looking at the daily chart, man, this might be the bottom on MSTR. I think I might get some more calls on this thing. I'm at a 0.5% position. I'm going to take it up just a little bit. I'm in the 190 calls next week on MSTR. I'm going to get a few more of these. Okay. Anyway, we got 78 folks on. There's a lot that's going to be happening here today. Let me see if I can start the stream. All right, let me see if I can do X Spaces from my desktop. Let's start with this. All right, I'm going to hit the Start Now button from the desktop. Right, let's see how it works.
Sounds good.
It says Microsoft. Okay. Okay, it says host. All right, it's there. I hope that's enough to work. Let's let me unmute myself there. All right, testing 1, 2, 3.
Let me hop on to check it out.
Yeah,
real quick.
hop on there. All right, so we are streaming from both Spaces and the YouTube and the X video. So if you want to see the video, you know what? In the Twitter Spaces, Rhett, let's go into the Nest. Let me do this. I want to put the video link in the Nest for the people who want to see video. So You're the Bull live stream. Okay, I see it.
Yeah.
I see that. So I'm going to take this link and I'm going to go to, wait, it says reconnect to space. Am I in it? It says I'm not. I'm confused. To listening, space will automatically end. Am I in the space or not?
I could hear you.
You can hear me, but I'm trying to get into this. It says reconnect to space. Why is this? Okay. What the hell's going on? Oh, there's music playing here. Why is this music playing here? Let me turn this off. And Year of the Bull. Okay, we got this. Is there an echo? And hold on. So Year of the Bull live stream. Okay, so in the Nest is the video version. Why? I don't want to hear myself. Is there an echo or is everything working?
Hold on, let me log back on to see. I'm just trying to pull this wheel. There's so many names I'm adding right now. It's unbelievable.
Oh. How do I? Why do I keep hearing myself? Hold on, maybe I go mute on this. Go unmute here. No, that doesn't work. Let me make you a co-host.
Wow, it's so delayed.
No, that doesn't work. Okay, we got 150 people on the video. That's YouTube and X. And a smaller crowd on just the spaces. So we're going to try to build this audience for a bit. And then we have a bunch of analysts and special guests. How do I get rid of this echo? Okay, let me close this here. How about that? All right, maybe this is better. Okay, maybe this is better like this, and I'll put it on speaker. Okay, this should work. This should work better. Rhett, how's it sound on spaces on your end?
It sounds decent. I mean, I can hear you.
And I got rid of the echo. All right, so let's invite all of the analysts, the Story Trading Discord analysts. Can you tag them? Let's get
just tag them.
Spaces, and let's get them on the video. What are these notes over here? Apple call sweep. Who put that in there? Apple millions of call sweeps. Zambi. Okay, Zambi. Welcome, Zambi. So anyway, let's just do, while we're building the audience and waiting for our analysts to come on, we got some people who are really bullish on Bull who are going to help tell the story and tell the thesis on that. You know what we'll do, actually? Why don't we play... Right, why don't you play the video that we made?
All right. Yeah, I'll play that really quick for everyone.
I'm going to make a banner while you play that. The Bull, the Bull... we
Yep.
are the We Bull Army. The cult stock has been born almost overnight. And why? Because they fundamentally inflected on their financials, and they have the superior product for consumers going up against Robinhood. This is the stock to own in 2026 versus Robinhood. By the way, Robinhood, which I called the inflection point in the single digits, I just sold all of it this morning in my retirement account. Sold all of my Robinhood and tripled my position in Webull. That's how you do it, guys. Good luck, everyone. Thanks for joining the stream. Make sure to follow us on Story Trading. Make sure to scroll down to that post about the Bull Army. Like and repost that. We're going to raise awareness about this superior product and this financially inflected earnings report that just came out, because Webull is going a lot higher. Bull has inflected to profitability with rapid revenue growth, and we will become the hood of 2026. I think it will become a cult stock. And all that means is that it's going to be assigned a premium. Right now, it's being assigned a discount. When it becomes a cult stock, it means you have people who really believe in the vision and are willing to hold on to the stock and pay a little bit of a premium. Now, we're undervalued. Imagine if we get the fair value, then a premium on top of that. Why would there be a premium? Because people are willing to hold this long term, because they see the vision here that Webull is going to be taking a big market share away from Robinhood as they grow. And they see that Webull actually has the far superior platform. Much better. I mean, if you've never used Webull and you use Robin, log into Webull, you'll never go back to Robinhood. If you're even if you're like, maybe like folks who trade, like do once a month trade or once a week trade, okay, I could see them saying, Robinhood looks simpler to me. But if you're just a little bit more sophisticated than that, and you're doing like 2 or 3 trades a week, or you understand charts, right? Then Webull is 100 times better. It's not even in the same league. It's not even a fair fight. If you look at the Webull experience and user experience and the tools and the features they give you versus the Robinhood experience, Webull blows away Robinhood like by 100x. It's ridiculous. So now with the financials inflecting over here, I do predict that Webull will become the Robinhood of 2026. It will become a cult stock. It will catch up with valuation metrics to Robinhood, which means it needs to double from here. It needs to go to $15, $16 just to earn the same current multiples that Robinhood is getting. And on top of that, you're going to start seeing faster growth, in my opinion. You're going to start seeing faster growth in Webull in 2026 than what you've been seeing in Robinhood. I called the inflection points in Carvana, Palantir, Hood, SoFi live on this show a couple of years ago when those inflected in the single digits. And I'm on record saying that now Webull has reached that same inflection point. I tripled my position in my retirement account last night on Webull, and I think Webull is going to be in the 20s in 20. New Robinhood, I think percentage-wise, you're going to make a lot more on Webull than you will in Robinhood in the year 2026 after this inflection point, and I think it's going to become a cult stock.
Awesome.
Is that it? All right, great. So there we go. Put my mic back on the spaces. And so let me just do a little bit of market analysis. We'll get to Bull. I'm just waiting for a couple of Godfather notes to come in and a couple of analysts, and we'll get to that. But I just have to call out this Bitcoin. I've been telling everyone that the line that we need to break is a 200 moving average on the 1 hour chart. So as soon as we broke that, I loaded it up into BMNR call options, MSTR call options. I'm already in Galaxy call options, but that might be something you want to consider also. I think I've called the A bottom at least. I don't know if it's the bottom, but at least a bottom here. The next level, but I think it's gonna happen. Meaning, technical traders are probably looking at 89,250 to break. All right. I think I identified this one first, and now that we broke that 1 hour trend line, I think we can break 89,250, and then we're really going to print it on these BMNRs and MSTRs. Beautiful. I picked up call options next week. Man, I want to pick up more. But in any case, we absolutely nailed it on Webull. All right. Big day for my account coming into the day up 28%. I had a 28% allocation in Webull in my trade account. In my retirement account, you just heard in that video there that I tripled my position. On Friday, I sold all the Robinhood, and I wrote after holding it all year, and I rotated it into Webull. But since then, I've now 10x'd my position in Webull. Webull is maybe my second largest position after Tesla, OpenAI, because which is touchy right now, but I have a big position in OpenAI in private markets, and then Tesla, and then Webull. All right, those are my top three positions right now. And in my retirement account, 28%. We nailed it on the weekly call options. 500, 600, 700%. I got out of the weekly call options this morning. The 850 strike, 8 strike, 9 strike out of all of them, and I rotated it into next week's 950s. Now let's just take a look at the technicals on this. Okay, technicals, the 20 DMA is at $9.27. If we close above 927, folks, I got to tell you, there is a possibility we see 10 to 1130. There's a possibility we can see that 50 DMA of Friday, 10 to 1130. This is a very exciting time to trade retail-oriented stocks, growth stocks, small caps, things like that. When I say exciting time, I'm talking about Thanksgiving week. Historically, Thanksgiving Eve day, which is today, and Black Friday tend to do really, really well in those retail-oriented stocks because a lot of the hedge funds, which focus on shorting such names, they're already out on vacation. They're not there hitting on the ask, on the bid, hitting the bid on the short. They're just gone. All right, those participants are not there, and then as a result, retail dominates the market, and that's part of why we predicted that we'd test and possibly break the 20 DMA. We made that prediction earlier this week, and we said we can do that Wednesday or Friday. And here we are, Wednesday, just a pitch perfect prediction, and that's what we do. We time markets here at Story Trading. Maybe a little bit more about how we do it at Story Trading a bit later. But now let me see if no, we still don't have those analysts on. All right, what I'm going to do is this. Let me get a summary of the earnings report from last Thursday night, the inflection earnings report. Okay, you can see it right here. There you go on the chart, the inflection earnings report. So that was on November 20th. No, it was on November 21st. So what we need to do is get into the November 22nd morning note on our Discord. Let me look up that November 22nd morning note, and we can get a blurb on Webull. I can't find. What is it? November 21st? No, it's November 21st morning note. Okay, so here we go to the November 21st morning note. And on November 21st morning note, you scroll down to the catalyst section, and you can see we made Bull a top pick that day. Bull reported a strong Q3 with adjusted EPS of 7 cents, beating 2 cents. Big EPS beat. Revenue, even bigger beat, 157 million versus analyst estimates of 136 million, 64% year-over-year trading growth, and customer assets up 84% to record levels. Global expansion, options and equity notional strength, renewed crypto trading, and the launch of Vega AI drove higher activity while profitability scaled meaningfully faster than expenses. Okay. I also listened to the conference call. When I make a call for an inflection point catalyst on an ER, it's not just about the quantitative, it's also about the qualitative. And there you go. Look at that prediction I made. The Bitcoin said this would not be a problem, 89,249, because the real resistance was that 1 hour line. So now we're banking on BMNR calls and MSTR calls. Man, I wish I got more. What a great prediction on Bitcoin. Now, also, we're going to be having, hopefully, Godfather joining us soon with his analysis. I'm going to show you this here, his blurb that he wrote on Bull here in his due diligence room. Here we go, Godfather DD, Bull. Okay, so here's his, let me zoom into this. Okay, so there we go. Okay, Bull, 8:30. I'm ready to enlist in the Bull Army. That is a strong fundamental investor here after completing his work. Agree with story trading on the inflection. More to come, but based on the growth and operating leverage, future growth will come from more cross-sell crypto prediction markets, bonds, equities than pure marketing spend. Already seeing that this quarter. They're well positioned to continue to grow on all metrics and improve profitability, which is the only thing holding back the multiple. Perhaps a historical perceived Chinese angle, which is overblown in my opinion. My sales numbers for 26 is higher than the street, but I don't think published estimates have been updated. Bottom line, first stop, full value, 11 to 13 with upside as it grows. The multiple differential to Hood is extreme. At 13, there's still 60%. Oh no, at 13, it would still trade at half of Hood's valuation. Now, what not mentioned on here, but he mentioned it earlier on the Benzinga show, which I listened to on the, look at Bull Go, on the, look at Bitcoin. This is just beautiful. Friday is going to be a beautiful day. Friday, I mean, you're going to see all of these risk assets explode. I should have bought more Galaxy. You know what? I'll tell you the truth. Let me just check my Galaxy. I bought $30 calls yesterday. I'm going to buy. Oh, the spread is too big on that. It was 140.
Those calls that we alerted yesterday on X, they're up 572%, guys. So
you're about the Bull calls, yeah.
Yeah, the $9
yeah,
calls.
we were buying $9 calls for 7 cents yesterday morning. They're now like 40 cents. But I just want to make sure I have enough of an allocation here to Galaxy. 1 second. I have the January 30. Oh, I have December 30 too. The January 30 and the December 30. You know what? Maybe what I got to do is go to December 5th and December 5th on Galaxy. Maybe I'll go right out of the money at 125. All right, let me get a bunch of these. I'm getting 27 strike next week on Galaxy to complement the MSTR. Wow. We'll get back to Bull in a second, guys, but these MSTR call options I called out in the Discord now up 50%, guys. Up 50% on those. What a timely call. And about 30% on the BMNR. Red, I think
we're trimming some there, Ben.
Yeah, I'm thinking of trimming some. I have 20 of them. I'm gonna sell. Should I sell half? How much should I sell? 5,
Yeah,
10?
sell half.
So you're good with the execution. I'm gonna listen to you, but I think these might go much higher though. So I just sold half of the MSTRs. Oh, AEO, American Eagle, new 52-week high. They're gonna have a blowout report. Market right here, right now. AEO is gonna have a blowout report next week, and it's probably gonna head to $25. I'm currently not in it stupidly, but I just can't be everywhere. And I'm focused right now on Bull and crypto rebound here. But one of the things that you'll be hearing about in the conference call for Webull is, we'll be playing that just here shortly, is their sports betting business just exploding like 50% sequentially. And then I think they said it's growing another 100% sequentially month over month. I mean, just exploding. I mean, all the metrics were just off the hook, and major inflection of profitability, major top line beat. This is what I was waiting for. And again, the next targets on Webull, 50 DMA, 1134, 10 psychological resistance, 10 to 1134. Those are the targets on Webull. Now, I'm thinking, Rhett, is this a good time? Oh, well, Godfather Knows is here. Great. So Godfather Knows. Hey, I'm going to put him on Godfather Knows. How you doing?
Hey guys, sorry for the delay.
No problem. No problem. Do you think you could also log into X Spaces? There's a few people there as well, so we can simulcast your voice there. That'd be great if you can. Look at Bitcoin. Oh man, did you see that call I made in the Discord on MicroStrategy and BMNR calls?
Yeah, amazing timing.
I've been watching this trend line, man. I'm telling you.
I tried that earlier this morning on the live stream, and it didn't work out that first time. You see that first spike up there, but I got crushed and got stopped out.
Now I'm up 50% on the BMNR calls. Should I take some of those off the table?
Might as well.
But I'm going to take off less. BMNR, I gave a target this morning. I said 20 May, 36 by Friday is what I said. So let me take a couple of those BMNR calls off the table. But 36 by Friday, this thing has certifiably broken out, in my opinion. All right. So waiting for the Godfather.
What do I need to do to log into X?
Yeah, X Spaces. I gave folks a little bit of a preview of your thoughts from the Discord that you shared earlier, but we'll hear it right from the horse's mouth. And then after that, I'm going to be playing their earnings report in full. Maybe while I order lunch. It's worth it. You guys want to hear this earnings report on Webull.
Having trouble logging into this stream on X.
If not, I can just Ben, you can mute yourself, and then I'll play it through my end so everyone can.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll just do it that way. Here.
Is that better for you? All right, let's see if that works.
Can you hear me on X or?
Sort of.
Then you're gonna have to for that though.
Oh, I have to go on mute. Sorry. Okay, is that coming through good on your end, guys?
Can you,
Yeah.
can you hear me on X now?
Right, do you hear him?
It's someone else would have to check. Hold on. I can't check on my end because I'm the one talking.
I mean, I hear it. Go ahead, Godfather.
Yeah, can you hear me on X?
Yeah, I hear you. Okay.
Okay, awesome. We're good.
So let's go. So, all right, I gave my analysis, the fundamental analysis, inflection point analysis on Bull. So your turn, Godfather. Go for it.
Yeah, look, as a fundamental guy, I want to see action and acceleration on the key KPIs. And we saw that not just, continued improvement, but we actually saw the pace of acceleration on all of those things. And these are net deposits. These are customer assets. These are registered users. These are funded accounts. These are option contract volumes, equity notional value, all of these things. And, we're not talking about small acceleration. We're seeing acceleration to historic levels on all of these things. Equity notional value, for example, up 71%. Registered users up 17%. This is incredible from an operating standpoint. But when you translate this into the actual financials, this is where the rubber meets the road. And what you're seeing here is operating leverage really kick in. So they reported 55% top line growth year over year. But the important thing is that operating expenses only grew 13%. So you had this massive swing in adjusted operating profit, not just from negative to positive, but you're talking about almost a 30 percentage point increase in profit margin on a year-over-year basis. And if you dig deeper and you go, well, how are they able to do this? You look directly at the marketing and branding line, and that's fallen in this same quarter that they reported 55% top line growth, 40%. They spent just under 30 million in straight up marketing versus almost 50 million in the same quarter a year prior. This was really a question of interest from the analysts on the conference call, and they talked about how their business has changed. They've got the tailwind now of being able to attract customers through various product offerings. For example, Webull Pay, which was the crypto side of the business, was rolled right back into the Webull platform again, given the regulatory changes of the new Trump administration allowing for that in the US. And then, of course, they've got this joint venture with Kalshi on the sports prediction markets. On top of that, they've been adding bond product. So all of these things allow for them to keep their retention rates. And by the way, customer retention rates at Bull are 98%.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that, Ben, but like you were saying about the user experience, if you've used it, you probably don't go anywhere else. And so they're getting folks that were dormant from specifically they called out the GameStop era, accounts that have been on the system since then, and now they're seeing those folks back for the first time, and maybe they're not doing equities at this juncture, but they're participating in these sports prediction markets. So it's easy for them to cross sell. And of course, they've done some other creative promotional activities like topping up deposits, things like this. So a cross-sell customer, by definition, has a lower CAC or customer acquisition cost associated with it, and this is what you want to see. So at the end of the day, from a fundamental standpoint, there are two key things that drive multiples: growth and margins. And, I shared this on our Discord in depth, looking at the key competitors, including, of course, Hood, which is where the market focuses most. And you've got now a growth rate on the top line that is double what you're seeing at Hood. And Hood's, it's a much larger company. So, one would expect the numbers to be better or easily better at Bull. But, you're approaching, using the consensus numbers, you're at 44%. I think those numbers are low. From the traction I'm seeing in the operating metrics and this expansion on the adjusted operating profit line, I think that number is going to be low. So you've got a multiple now that's just about 5.5 times on an EV to sales basis, which is really the way you want to look at this relative to the other names, because they're still rolling most of their profits into growth, and the market looks at growth companies, more on the top line. So 5.5 times, versus 20 times for Hood. That means a quarter of the multiple for twice the growth rate. Even if you look at some of the other sort of more established players, if you will, the Schwabs of the world and the IBKRs of the world, the average multiple of all of these names is around 9. So just to get to where these guys are trading, which I would say is, fair value. Again, I think it deserves a premium, but that fair value is $14.50. Look at Schwab, for example. Even stage Charles Schwab, that multiple, and by the way, their sales growth.
That 1450 nicely aligns, by the way, with the 200 DMA, which is currently at 1334.
So just to finish up here on the relative valuation comparison, Schwab, which I think is the lowest sort of hurdle benchmark for these guys, that valuation would be $11. So I think that's a fair first stop. And here are the things that make this perfect story trading stock, because you've got alignment in both the fundamentals and the technicals. And clearly you're seeing it from a sentiment side as well. Look, this thing came out at an inflated valuation, which is not uncommon for these SPAC transactions. And then you had the typical lockup expiries and the selling that comes along with that. These guys had a very low adjusted cost basis. And, there was an incredible arbitrage opportunity that we made. I think it was some of the biggest winners in our community.
100%.
Playing those warrants against the common. And this was back when, the stock had a 2 handle on it. And I said to folks when that trade opportunity had sort of run its course, look, on a fundamental basis, you just can't defend the value here versus what we saw in Hood. What's happened since then? Well, Hood's up 221% year to date. Bull is still down 7%. The average of the whole group, even Charles Schwab is up 25% this year. Even IBKR is up 40% this year. So we've overshot to the downside. It's clear. And this chart action that we saw around the quarter, that sort of spiked down. I think it was on Friday morning.
Friday morning. Well, the whole market was down Friday morning.
Yeah, inexplicably. So there was still some, I think there was still some nervousness, and there still is in this market over that huge bearish engulfing candle that we saw
Thursday,
the day prior. So despite, one of the toughest backdrops to report a great quarter from a market standpoint, the stock has recovered nicely. I don't think you're going to see 7 handles on this name anymore. And, judging by the action today, 8s look like they're in the rearview mirror as well.
Well, yes, and if we close above the 20 DMA, perhaps the 20 DMA 927 will be above in the rear view mirror. So let me just add to that. You gave a great fundamental analysis there, and I'm going to add my story trading spin on it. So it goes. You guys have been following me, know that the way I do things, I look at things holistically. We call them the 4 pillars. It's catalyst, sentiment, fundamentals, and technicals. So I look at all of that, and the best trades are these catalysts that I call inflection points. Inflection point catalysts, which change sentiment. That's ultimately the top thing I look for. Now, fundamentals is part of that, right? When the fundamentals turn, the sentiment gets better. But I want to suggest to you that beyond what you just calculated there, Godfather, that now we change into a regime of undervaluation to overvaluation, meaning we change from a regime of poor sentiment, so let's make sure the stock trades below fair fundamental value, to positive sentiment, where the stock has a chance of trading above fair fundamental value based on this inflection point. And what are these attributes that I'm looking at? One of them, you're right, it's revenue growth, all right? But it's revenue growth, like you said, in relationship to Robinhood. It's the fact that Robinhood was such a big, huge winner in 2026. So that there's something like, I take this into account that, maybe a pure fundamentalist doesn't, right? Because people are looking at what's the next Robinhood, right? So you had this explosive move in Robinhood in 2025, 2024. And, that drives positive sentiment in Webull, especially because I think there's a perception out there, especially among people who may trade this stock, meaning people who are active traders and they're familiar with Webull, they're familiar with Robinhood. You have a strong, loyal base of Webull users who think that Webull is a better product than Robinhood. So you put it all together and it's like better product than Robinhood. The revenue is inflecting. Now the revenue is growing faster than Robinhood. Robinhood exploded, so like 5-10 times in 2025 or whatever it did, right? So now this is being set up to be the next Robinhood. And that's the sentiment inflection I look for, which is fueled by the fundamentals, right? That fundamental turn. But ultimately, for me as a story trading investor, Godfather, I care less about the actual numbers of the fundamentals and more about the direction, right? The inflection. So that direction, that change in opinion, that's going to cause investors to come in despite what the fair value might be. And that's my signal to go in big. All right. So that's what I did here. Like I said, one of my top positions now in my retirement account, I still have a probably 28 position. 20. Let me actually check what I'm at. So, you folks are trading here. So let's just talk about the trades a little bit here. So coming into today, I shared the allocations. In fact, I'll do that right now here for folks who are not familiar with how our community works.
While you're looking that up, and let me just mention one more thing that I failed to mention. On the fundamentals. So, not just are you seeing the revenue line go in one direction and the expense line go in the other, contributing to this margin increase, which ultimately will result in a multiple expansion. But they fundamentally changed their pricing models on both crypto and options. And of course, the sports prediction market, I mean, by the way, they not guided, but answered a question from an analyst in the conference call notes. You can read in the transcript about this pace of growth that they're seeing in sports prediction markets. And they said that November is tracking to be up 100% over.
Oh, crazy! We're gonna play that. We're gonna play that.
Yeah, and that's despite 50% sequential growth that they showed in the quarter, where they did 30 million of these contracts. By the way, they make like $1.25 to $1.50 per contract. So when you see, I was talking about these operating KPIs and these metrics, of course, option volumes traded, the notional values, all of these things that I talked about that are not just growing, but inflecting higher. The margin associated with each of those as a result of the changes in their pricing models is adding further to this, widening of margins. The other thing, of course, is the more services that they put on the platform, the more they can sell to their premium subscriber tier. And again, this is all heavily planned pricing tiers to maximize profitability. So I'm not sure the market fully appreciates exactly the type of operating leverage that these guys are about to show.
All right. So with that, let's talk about execution. You see here in the morning note each day, I share my allocations with you, in addition to notifying the community as I'm entering positions and the daily streams we do. You can see here, bull 18% common shares. And if you go add up all these call options I was in, January, May call options, November 28th, here come the money ones, $8 calls, November. Where did it go? Where are the other November 28th ones? Was this not a full screenshot? Do I have the wrong one? Now I'm a little bit confused. But maybe I have to zoom in. Oh, here it is. It's hidden. It's here. It's two. There you go. It's hard to see. The bull $9 calls. You see a 0.27% position. I guess you gotta click on them. It's funny. Anyway, here we go. And the bull $8 calls is somewhere in there. There it is. A 0.5% position in the bull $8 calls. So what I did here this morning, and along with probably, I think you did this too, those are weekly calls and they're risky. So I sold them all in the morning and I rotated into 950 calls next week just to buy myself a little bit, because you never know what happens. These expire Friday. Now, it's very possible. Those $9 calls I bought for 7 cents on the live stream, Rhett, you got them for like 6 or 5 cents after averaging down. Yeah. Very possible. I mean, they're already up near 1,000%. Very possible it'll be up a couple 1,000% by Friday if you held on to them. But, my main thing is managing risk over here, and weekly calls are definitely dangerous. So I took the profits on those, made about, 15 grand or something on those weekly calls, and I rotated into 950 next week. And this is for the higher risk portion. They're now 38 cents. Okay, but most of my call options are January and May. So most of my position is common shares, then January and May call options. There's also this Bull G we just discovered I didn't know about, which is a 2x levered ETF that you can consider. So from an execution standpoint, that's where I'm at. I really haven't reduced my position. I just kind of rotated from this week's calls to next week's calls. And Godfather, you have any thoughts on how to play this execution-wise?
Well, it's a good thing.
Allocation-wise,
Yeah. Allocation is going to be specific, as will, actual contract selection for your own risk parameters. But post the Benzinga show we did this morning, watching the stock, and when we saw that dip down to 910 on the commons, I entered the Bull G.
Bull G, nice.
And I entered the $9 December 19th calls.
Cool. $9 December 19th. I'm going to take a look at those right now. Let's see.
Yeah, again,
$9,
trying to be relatively conservative, give myself some room. It's going to be
90 cents,
well after the Fed.
9.90.
So I'm long.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right. So, and this is definitely going to I think it's going to become a cult stock this year. There's a lot of big influencers who are loading up on this name. And I think it's going to be one of those things where you can play, I'm going to be looking at the options every week because I think it's one of those things where the crowd will maybe try to do gamma squeezes on Fridays and stuff like that. And then you can also sell covered calls weekly if you want to try that on a big core position. Look at this MSTR and this Bitcoin just freaking explode. Rhett, why do you make me sell half of my MSTR calls? I knew that was the bottom. Dougie Fresh is here with us now as well.
How are you guys?
Dougie,
Yeah,
did
it's
you
always
see?
good to lock in profits on the way up, though, guys.
Yeah. Did
That
you
is
see the
true.
calls I made on the Bitcoin breakout like 5 minutes before it happened? I loaded up on MSTR, Galaxy, and BMNR calls. Crazy.
I wish
Wow.
I had loaded up on the Galaxy when I said I was going to this morning. Remember I said
I'm now
that?
up 84% in just like an hour on the MSTR calls.
Damn.
And yeah, the BMNR calls are up 60%. But why don't we
That
get
was-
your thoughts now? I don't.
Oh, you cut out.
Have you been listening to the conversation so far on Webull?
No, I haven't. I just hopped on. I actually was out
Okay,
eating a
so
nice
you know what?
Jersey diner lunch.
We covered the fundamentals and the sentiment and the catalyst. Why don't you walk us through what you see on the technicals on Webull right now? I'm showing the daily chart. What do you think comes next in the shorter term and the longer term on Webull?
So we're still up 7% today. It's still just hanging up over that 20 right there. I mean, it almost has to dip down to like 929 or below it. It's at 932 and it's hanging out there right now. It doesn't look too bad to try to continue its way up is what it looks like to me at the moment for Webull. And where can it get to? It should try to jump. I mean, you pretty much said it earlier, right at that 50-day at like 1134. And you would think it would get jumping up
I
there.
think that's the
Maybe
next
Friday it
target.
will get bouncing. So
I think 10. I think we're going to be challenging 10 on Friday, and I mean it sounds crazy, but I think there's also a possibility of getting to 1140 on Friday. We'll see how it goes.
yeah, no, I agree. I think this thing's about to rip off that 20 right there. It jumped up into a perfect spot today. It's just hanging out and just kind of waiting. The market looks so good right now that I just can't see that it doesn't want to move. And yeah, I think
Whoa,
Webull's
look at
gonna
these
be great.
candles down everywhere though, right now on
Pentagon
everything.
said Alibaba should be on list for China military ties.
What's that?
Pentagon said Alibaba should be on list for China military ties.
Oh
And
wow,
that's why the whole market just dumped.
I don't know. That's the headline on Bloomberg.
Baba down 2.5%.
Baba just dipped.
Hopefully that doesn't impact might
This is-
impact the sentiment on Bull a little bit.
Just dipped.
Buyable. This is buyable. Dip here for sure.
So what are you buying? That's the question.
Alba, right?
Everything.
You buy that?
Baba? You're buying Baba?
I think that's the last place you want to go. Look, I think you need to flesh out the sentiment thing a little bit based on the action that we saw overnight. This thing traded, when I last looked at it, it might have ended up more, but it had traded 1.5 million shares
I know, it's crazy.
overnight. Again, we're talking about Webull here, same as NVIDIA. And if you look at folks that were active in the market overnight, it was clear that volume was coming from geographies like Asia and like the EU. So
Big blocks too. Big money.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
so your comment about users that get acquainted with the platform, not leaving, and why would you? And that's reflected in the retention rates. I think these guys will be buying the stock also. Keep in mind here that there are now 700,000 funded accounts outside of the US. They're in 13 countries. They're just rolling out the European expansion, started in the Netherlands. They're in key markets, and the Korean investors have been looking for ways to play and get better access to the U.S. market. So, they're providing that through some key joint ventures that they recently made, and execution capabilities on.
You just got me really pumped for what could happen on Friday. I don't know. I may have to pick up some mulattoes for Friday because you're right. That overnight market was crazy and it was big money involved. And I could definitely see them doing that again early Friday morning, is there going to be an overnight market Friday morning? Does anyone know? When does that open? Do we open 8 p.m. on Thanksgiving night?
That's a good
Not
question.
sure.
I'm not too sure about that.
Oh,
one.
we
Usually
should
on a
find
holiday,
out.
it waits until the next morning, so it could wait until 4 a.m. But don't quote me on that.
We should
but
find out because
I have
that makes
no
a
idea.
difference. If we have an overnight market, I might take a risk on something. I don't know.
Well,
950
just like you were
closer to
saying,
10.
Godfather, to that extent. I mean, now you see like the whole market's completely different nowadays, and I talk about this all the time. We live in a different market with this 4 a.m. and the trading on the pre-market. I mean, growing up, we always got started at 7 a.m. That was your pre-market, and it would get rolling, and they'd start rolling into like that 9:30. Now 4 a.m. and laptop travel and everybody in that 4 a.m. warrior crew, and I mean, you see multiple stocks run well over 100% within like 3 minutes of each. I mean, it's just like boom, boom, boom at 4 a.m. And what you're saying is exactly right. Where's that volume coming from? It's
Oh my
got to be
gosh.
coming from over in Asia and stuff. It's
Dude,
not coming from the West Coast and the US. That's for damn sure.
This is crazy. Those IWM calls I was in yesterday, if I held them, they're a 5x now. I made some
believe it.
money. I sold them on the way up. 245 expiring today. They were 50 cents yesterday. They're now $2.50 intrinsic value. Crazy. $2.40. All right. So this is what we're going to do, guys. We are going to
Cut out.
We're going to play the earnings call. We're going to cut out, but we're going to play the earnings call here. And then the rest of us can take a little break, and I'm going to order lunch. We're going to play the earnings call in full. I'm going to skip past the beginning parts where they go over disclaimers and stuff. And then after that, we're going to be doing a giveaway for, what is it, a 6-month subscription?
6-month basic subscription, yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
so
All
6 month
those, we have
subscription. And you know what?
53 people.
I got to tell you, if everyone reposts this stream right now, we're at 400 viewers right now on the video side, only like 12 people in Spaces, but we got 400 viewers. If we get that to like over 1,000 viewers by the end of the CC, then why don't we do an additional like $200 cash giveaway, Rhett?
Sure.
We can have 2 winners. We'll spin the wheel twice, so you have 2 chances to win: 6-month subscription to Story Trading, or $200 cash that will Venmo to you today, or PayPal, your choice. All right. And how do they enter? Just tell them how to do that.
So what they can do, they can head on over to the post where it says, hold on, let me pull it up here. The post, if you scroll down, I'm going to repost it right now, so give me 1 second.
And then do you know how to put it in the nest, or you want me to handle that? We repost it, then I'll put it in the nest. How about that?
I'm going to repost it. There we go.
It's reposted. Let me see.
Did you see that? Since we're
the Bull Army. Okay, I'm going to put this in the nest. It's going to go Year of the Bull. Okay. So now let me see if I can get the audio playing directly into Spaces of the earnings call. Let me see if we could do that. And once I confirm that, we're going to go on mute for a bit. 1 second. Okay, Rhett. Can you tell me if you hear this on Spaces? Hold on a second.
Yep, it's on there. I can hear it. I just pulled it up on my Spaces.
Welcome to Webull's third quarter 2025 conference.
You hear that? Welcome to the conference call.
Earlier today, we issued a press release detailing our
Hold on.
Guys, I'll be back. I gotta bounce for a sec.
All
All right.
They're seeing a little.
Our website,
Yeah.
at webullcorp.com, under the Investor Relations tab.
Yeah, you can hear it on Spaces.
This call is being
Okay, so I'm going to go on mute here.
replay.
Me
And you
too.
guys,
I'll be back.
Hold on, Ben. We can't hear anything.
Uh-oh, Ben, you can't go on mute.
What's that, guys?
Concerning the factors
You can't go on mute. We can't hear it.
Oh, duh. Okay, sorry.
Please refer to the cautionary statement and risk factors contained in our filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission and press release, both of which can be accessed via our website. Today's presentation will include a discussion on adjusted operating expenses, adjusted operating profit, and adjusted net income, all non-GAAP financial measures. Reconciliation of these non-GAAP financial measures to their most directly comparative GAAP measures are included in the press release that we issued today. It's important to note that although we believe that these non-GAAP measures provide useful information about our operating results, they should not be considered in isolation or construed as an alternative to their directly comparative GAAP measures. Furthermore, other companies may calculate similarly titled measures differently, limiting their usefulness as comparative measures to our data. We encourage investors and others to review our financial information in its entirety and not rely on a single financial measure. With me today is our Group President and U.S. CEO, Anthony Denier, and our Group CFO, H.C. Wang. We will begin with prepared remarks and then take questions at the end. With that, I would like to turn it over to Anthony.
Thank you, Carlos, and hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Webull's third quarter results demonstrate continued momentum and growth in what remains a highly favorable market environment for our business. Our Q3 results reflect this environment, but also our global team's continued ability to achieve our goals, which drove strong results across almost every metric. Strong corporate earnings, interest rate reductions, and rallies in technology and AI stocks have driven robust market conditions, with the S&P maintaining near record levels throughout the quarter. This backdrop, combined with our ongoing technological innovation, product expansion, and increased access across geographies, continues to create significant opportunities for our customers worldwide. Webull is exceptionally well positioned to continue to capitalize on the global consumer shift towards mobile-first trading. We're executing. This quarter marks significant milestones in product diversification and geographic expansion as we continue to see high growth across our platform on the heels of our public listing. We successfully reintroduced crypto back to the Webull app and expanded our offerings in the space to include crypto futures trading. We also introduced sports prediction markets through our partnership with Kalshi and are on track to achieve a major international milestone as Webull Canada will soon become the first non-US brokerage in our group to reach $1 billion in assets under management. And just last week, we launched Vega, the latest evolution of our AI-powered decision-making partner, which will enhance the investor experience by providing personalized insights and analysis to inform trading decisions for our users. These offerings are already leading to meaningful ROI. We're seeing strong adoption among both new and existing customers as the platform successfully re-engages dormant accounts through compelling new products. During the quarter, we brought crypto trading back to the Webull platform and brought Webull Pay back into our group, which added $1.2 billion in AUM and over 140,000 funded accounts. Now over 50% of new funded accounts are trading crypto. We will continue to meet investors where they are and increase our share of wallet by introducing them to our expanded products and solutions over time. Our differentiated offerings, including direct deposit enablement and the launch of corporate bonds, continue to set Webull apart from competitors. With each new product, we continue to strive to be the one-stop platform for traders looking to get the most personalized and agile investment opportunities on the market. I'm proud of the Webull team for the innovation and execution they've demonstrated in reaching these milestones. We reached another important milestone in our journey as a public company with the expiration of all shareholder lockup restrictions on October 8th, which significantly increased our public float, further enhancing our market liquidity. With that, let me now walk you through the key highlights from the quarter in more detail. Here on slide 2, I'll walk you through our third quarter highlights. We delivered another strong quarter for Webull shareholders, with the year-over-year revenue growth significantly outpacing increasing operating expenses, driving solid margin expansion for another quarter. we recorded top-line revenue of $156.9 million, representing 55% growth year over year, driven by four key factors. First, customer assets reached an all-time high of $21.2 billion, inclusive of the $1.2 billion in assets from the acquisition of We Will Pay, marking the third consecutive quarter of AUM growth. Second, equity trading volume surged for the third straight quarter, up 71% year over year. Third, our on-time delivery of new product offerings, including crypto futures and prediction markets, enhanced stickiness and new user growth. And fourth, we continue to broaden access to our leading platform across new and varied geographies. We recorded adjusted expenses for the quarter of $120 million, representing a year-over-year increase of just 13%. Our increase in expenses was mainly driven by increased brokerage and transaction expenses, reflecting higher trading volume, as well as higher general and administrative expenses, driven by increased compensation and bonus accruals reflecting headcount growth and stronger than expected performance. The increase in G&A expenses was partially offset by a lower marketing spend. Lastly, we delivered a fourth straight quarter of operating profitability with a strong 28.7 point increase in adjusted operating margin on a year-over-year basis to 23.4%, representing adjusted operating profit of $36.7 million for the third quarter. We continue to focus on execution and margin expansion, reflecting our commitment to delivering sustainable growth and value for our shareholders. Turning now to slide 3 and our 2025 roadmap. We continue to enhance our existing product offering while executing against the ambitious roadmap we outlined in Q2 to support our growing customer base and expand market share through new offerings and geographies. We're particularly excited about the launch of Vega. Vega is an AI tool that combines news, earnings, and technical data to deliver a focused, intuitive experience that helps both new and seasoned investors navigate modern trading and make smarter decisions. Other key features of Vega include that showcase investment opportunities and voice commands for placing trades as we continue to enable accessibility on our platform. As we continue to broaden our offerings to solidify our position as a one-stop investment platform for retail and sophisticated investors, Vega will play a crucial role in enabling further consolidation as investors gain powerful insights across their portfolio of equities, bonds, crypto, and more. We Will Premium, our subscription-based service for active traders and long-term investors, has now reached 90,000 subscribers, a 20% increase from just last quarter, and is tracking well ahead of our internal target of 100,000 subscribers by year-end. Our premium offerings have been further bolstered by the introduction of corporate bonds during Q3. Corporate bonds provide customers with low-risk investment opportunities and steady yields while also facilitating asset transfers from traditional brokerages, positioning Webull as the one-stop platform for sophisticated investors. I'm excited to discuss the launch of prediction markets on our platform. Through our partnership with Kalshi, we've introduced sports prediction markets covering NFL, NBA, NASCAR, F1, and college football events. This offering provides an engaging and accessible trading experience that lowers barriers to entry. The results have been exceptional. More than 30 million prediction contracts were placed in October, nearly twice as many as were placed in September, over half of which were sports contracts. As I stated previously, the return of crypto to our platform has delivered instant results and has become a significant driver of funded account growth. While we currently offer crypto trading to our customers in the US, Brazil, and Australia, we will continue expanding crypto offerings across geographies and are actively exploring digital asset licenses in numerous other markets. Finally, our expansion of products available internationally continues to progress. During the quarter, we launched our Webull platform in the EU, beginning in the Netherlands, and anticipate launching in additional European markets over the coming months. We also entered into a strategic partnership with Meritz Financial Group to offer U.S. market access to Meritz customers in South Korea. In addition, Level 3 options trading is now live in Singapore and Hong Kong and is set to launch in Japan imminently. And we're excited to continue to scale and reach even more global customers as our product offerings continue to grow. We have now over 700,000 funded accounts outside the U.S., and we continue to prioritize delivering U.S. products to international markets and building diversified revenue streams globally.
I'm just pausing this for a second. I did decide to buy now $9.50 calls for Friday for 10 cents. These are a lotto. So kind of repeating what I tried yesterday. I got the $9 calls yesterday for 7 cents, sold them at 35. And then I'm getting the 950 calls for 10 cents. Just looking at Bitcoin just exploding, this can help the sentiment for Webull into Friday with a chance of seeing $10 to $11 on Friday. It's definitely risky. Just wanted to alert that I got into that trade right now. $9.50 calls for Friday.
On slide 4, I'll discuss our growth in both users and funded accounts. During the third quarter, we added roughly 1 million registered users, bringing the platform to a total of 25.9 million registered users, a more than 3 million increase from the third quarter of last year, representing a 17% increase. Importantly, that 1 million increase also represents a large sequential increase, showcasing that our product and geographic expansion is driving robust user growth. Webull was originally launched as a global market data platform before evolving to become the leading digital investment platform we are today. As a result, we have a significant number of registered users in geographies where our trading platform is not yet available. We are committed to offering access to best-in-class market data and information to everyone, whether or not they currently have a brokerage account with us. On the right side of the slide, you can see funded account metrics. Funded accounts, defined as accounts where customers have made an initial deposit that has remained above zero for 45 consecutive calendar days as of the record date, showed healthy growth. We added approximately 200,000 new funded accounts this quarter, inclusive of accounts onboarded through our acquisition of Webull Pay, bringing the total number of funded accounts to 4.93 million, a 9% year-over-year increase. As we continue to innovate, to report that our quarterly retention rate remained high and grew slightly on a sequential basis to 97.7%. Turning to slide 5, as I previously mentioned, Webull customer assets reached an all-time high of $21.2 billion, inclusive of $1.2 billion in assets from the acquisition of Webull Pay, representing an 84% increase on a year-over-year basis and a $5.3 billion sequential increase. The growth in customer assets reflects strong momentum driven by favorable market dynamics and robust deposit activity. Our customers deposited over $2.1 billion during the quarter, a 31% increase year over year, bringing our cumulative net deposits over the last 12 months to $5.9 billion. On slide 6, I'll provide an overview of trading volumes for the quarter. While we're always looking to expand and enhance our product offerings, growth in our core products also continued to accelerate. Our equity volume increased by 71% on a year-over-year basis and 26.7% sequentially, totaling $204 billion. Our options contract volume was $147 million in the third quarter. The associated revenue continues to outpace contract volume growth after implementing a new pricing model in the second half of last year. And we're pleased to see the continued results of that initiative with a steady increase in the monetization of our options business. We are now midway through Q4 and are on pace for further growth. October was our best month ever in terms of customer deposits, trading volumes, and revenues. and our new products are driving increases in market share and the consolidation of users' portfolio onto the Webull app. With that, I'll pass the call over to HC for a closer look at our financial results for the quarter.
Thank you, Anthony, and thanks to everyone for joining us today. Slide 7 shows that in the third quarter, Webull generated revenue of $156.9 million, up 55% year over year. Adjusted operating expenses for the quarter came in at $120.2 million, an increase of 13% from a year ago. We continue to take a disciplined approach to balancing execution costs and operating efficiency as we continue to scale the business. And we are pleased with our continued margin expansion and profitability. On the following slides, I will walk through the components of revenues and expenses in more detail. Now turning to slide 8 on our profitability performance. As Anthony mentioned earlier, Webull has now recorded its 4th consecutive quarter of operating profitability. In Q3, adjusted operating profit reached $36.7 million, our most profitable quarter ever, representing a 28.7% improvement in adjusted operating profit margin year over year. Adjusted net income for the quarter was $32.9 million, up $38.6 million year over year. Adjusted net profit margin improved 26.5% year over year, reaching 20.9% of revenue. Turning to slide 9, our trading-related revenues continue to accelerate, supported by higher trading volumes across all asset classes and improved monetization, particularly in options. Momentum from the second quarter carried through to Q3.
Sorry, just pausing this for a second. On X, I just flipped back to X to see if this was still going, and for some reason on my stream, it's there on the bottom, but it's shaded out. So I don't know if you're on X Spaces, is that still working?
Let me see on mine. No, it looks like it ended.
It ended. Oh, weird. Oh, we're still going here.
Yeah, we're still up here.
You know what? Can you send the message to those folks that we invited on Spaces? Just let them know there was a glitch and we're continuing live, and give them the backend studio link if they want, or give them the front end also. That turned out to be glitchy doing that on Spaces. And maybe just put out a tweet that if you want to just apologize for that, and if they want to continue to join our the video live stream.
Okay, sounds
All right,
good.
thanks. All right, let's continue here. Sorry about that, guys.
Daily average revenue trades increased 56% year over year, driving a 64% rise in trading-related revenues. On a per-trade basis, revenue increased to $1.53. Turning to slide 10 on interest-related income, earned on client and corporate cash, as well as revenues from margin financing and stock lending activities. In the third quarter, interest-related income grew 32% year over year to $43.4 million, driven by higher interest-earning balances across all categories: corporate cash, client cash, margin lending, and fully paid stock lending, reflecting the continued growth of our client assets. Finally, let's turn to slide 11 for a closer look at operating expenses. As a high-growth business with meaningful operating leverage, we expect operating expenses to increase as we scale, but at a much slower pace compared to revenue growth. In the third quarter, operating expenses grew 13% year over year, primarily due to higher brokerage and transaction costs associated with rapid growth in trading volumes and product expansion. General and administrative expenses also increased, reflecting headcount growth and higher bonus accruals tied to stronger than expected performance. These increases were partially offset by lower marketing spend as we continue to optimize our marketing and branding strategy. We remain committed to maintaining expense discipline while continuing to invest strategically in innovation, customer acquisition, and wallet share expansion to capture sustainable long-term growth opportunities. Now, thank you, everyone. With that, I will turn the call back to Anthony before we open the line for questions.
Thanks, HC. This was a record quarter for Webull on many metrics, including revenue and funded account growth, marking an exciting new chapter for our platform as we successfully unveiled innovative product offerings, including crypto futures, sports predictive markets, and our AI-powered decision partner, Vega. We remain energized as we continue to deliver our product roadmap for U.S. and global investors. I want to recognize the global Webull team for their continued dedication as we continue to grow our platform following our public listing in early 2025. We look forward to engaging with you at several upcoming industry and investor conferences. On that note, we welcome any questions you may have, either here on the call or one-on-one.
Okay, and just pausing there to remind you guys, we have now 531 people listening to our streams, watching the video streams here. If we get to 1,000 people, we're going to be giving out 200 cash. When we spin the wheel, we're going to be giving 2 prizes, not just one. It'll be a 6-month subscription, but also $200 cash right to your Venmo. We're at 532 people. So Joe, let's go ahead and repost the stream so we can hit that milestone and give out that additional giveaway.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. To ask a question, you may press star, then 1 on your touchtone phone. If you are using a speakerphone, please pick up your handset before pressing the keys. If at any time your question has been addressed and you would like to withdraw your question, please press star, then 2. At this time, we will pause momentarily to assemble our roster. And your first question today will come from Kareem Saif with Bank of America Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. Okay, well, congrats on a great quarter. My first question is on prediction markets. It was very nice to see you guys added sports contracts to the offering. So, Anthony, I was wondering if you could maybe help size the revenue opportunity for Webull from the prediction markets offering, as well as maybe share some of any of the economics that you have with Kalshi.
Sure, happy to, Kareem. So many people don't know this, but we've been partnering with Kalshi since the very beginning of the year. We just recently got into the sports prediction markets at the beginning of the NFL season, late August, I believe, for Thursday Night Football. And the prediction market pre-sports has seen some really nice growth as we did SPY hourlies, NDX hourlies, some major Fed events. But the sports numbers have been completely blowing us away, right? And we've all seen the headlines and how much growth we've seen from Kalshi and Polymarket on a notional value. We're seeing that lockstep, and the value of offering these sports predictive contracts are multifold the way I look at it. Right? We announced 30 million contracts in October. We're already now halfway into Q4 on the 20th of November, and that number is completely gone. We're blowing that number away already in November, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if we see over 100% on a pretty consistent level. Now, the opportunity from a monetary standpoint is different with every partner that Kalshi has. So we do charge a 1 cent commission to our clients that are trading per contract. And we also get an exchange rebate from Kalshi. And the blended rate comes in anywhere between 1.25 to 1.5 cents per contract on the revenue side. That being said, I don't think it's merely a revenue catalyst for our business. These sports prediction markets are re-engaging dormant accounts, right? And it's also addressing a completely new TAM of customer. And so, if we have customers that might have came on the platform in 2021 during GameStop, the world opened up, they got quiet, right? Life got in the way, and they weren't actively trading. Now they're back because of these sports prediction markets in a big way. And it's a great way to re-engage customers that have gone dormant. It's a great way to address a whole new addressable market of clients. So very exciting time for our industry. And I do think prediction markets are going to be something that's going to continue to push us not only on new customer acquisition, but product expansion.
Got it. That was very helpful. Thank you very much. And then for my follow-up, so obviously it was very nice to see, I believe you called it in your prepared remarks, net deposits in October were very strong. It was the best, I believe, the best months for Webull. But when I look at net deposits in 3Q, very strong also, 2.1 billion, which I believe, when I look at it as a percentage of your AUA or AUC, it's almost 53% annualized. So I was wondering if you could maybe help unpack that a little bit for us. Where are you seeing that strength coming from? If you could maybe unpack it by geography, that would be very helpful.
Absolutely. So one of the great advantages we have versus a lot of our peers is the fact that we are truly a global platform. We have 14 broker dealers that are currently operating around the world. The U.S. is the largest and the oldest, but we just opened up the Netherlands in September, went live in 2025, and we continue to look to expand. That expansion and us taking significant market share, not only in the U.S., but outside the U.S., is one of the great drivers for that AUM growth. All right, so we took in 2.1 billion of net deposits in Q3 alone. That's not including the acquisition of Webull Pay and the money we received as part of the AUM in that acquisition. And I would put it on two different catalysts for that impressive net new money coming in. One is the evolution of our marketing style. So we have been evolving our marketing over time, and we've seen a lot of success and great ROI on our incentive transfer programs. So offering sticky money to roll over 401ks into Webull, where we're offering matching deposits, extremely successful in bringing new AUM into the platform. And then back to the geographic expansion. We're seeing huge growth in markets like Canada that we didn't announce is about to cross 1 billion in AUM alone in that market. That's only, call it 20 months old at this point. We have other locations that we're seeing huge amounts of growth, like Australia. Of all places, Thailand is growing it's doubling on a quarter-over-quarter basis in terms of what we're seeing in transaction. And that's a recurring theme that we're seeing outside of the U.S. As the U.S., as we start expanding on U.S. products outside to the non-U.S. entities, we're seeing the customer demand for U.S. products really push new customer acquisition and new AUM coming into the platform.
Got it. That was very helpful. Thank you so much for taking my questions. I'll hop back in the queue.
The next question will come from Steven Chubak with Wolfe Research. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, and thanks for taking my questions. So, hey, hope you guys are well. So I wanted to ask a multi-parter just on expenses and margins. So we saw really good expense discipline in the quarter. Total revenues were up 55%, adjusted expense up 13%. So impressive incremental margin just north of 75%. I wanted to understand the sustainability of those incremental margins, just given myriad opportunities to lean in on the investment side. And then for the second part, Anthony, around the marketing strategy, why not choose to lean in a little bit more in terms of marketing spend, just given the strong momentum in 3Q in October? I recognize the high ROIs. That was the one bucket that actually saw declines year on year. So I wanted to better understand how you're thinking about the opportunity to lean in there as well.
Sure. No, happy to pick that up. So when we look at our customers being able to transfer assets in. We're constantly improving on the product and the rails for them to do so easily. And when we think of margin expansion, we are very cognizant that we are in an extreme growth phase of our business. So right where we are now in the mid kind of 20s of margin, I think is extremely healthy for a growth company. And we're going to continue to deliver on that. I can hand it over to HC for a little more detail on the actual margin and the expenses side.
Sure. Thanks, Anthony, and thank you for the question. So for us, as you can see that we've consistently maintained our adjusted operating margin around 20% for the last 4 quarters. And so we are constantly optimizing and adjusting, how we're approaching expenses. For example, marketing. I think you asked about why not over-invest in marketing when the market is good? I think in a certain sense, we are very opportunistic. We actually do a lot of work and review on a market-by-market basis to see where we get the highest ROIs in terms of our marketing dollars. But we also want to be smart about, investing and the forms of different promotions that we take. And so we have, over time, shifted more from giving away free stocks to customers to more of these like asset matching promotions. And as a result of that, we are seeing significant increases in net deposits in AUM growth. Another result of that is there's a greater amortization of marketing expenses. So it's not just given away immediately when the customer fund their accounts. The customer would have to deposit AUM and maintain their AUM for a number of months before they accrue and earn the whole marketing spend. So actually that helps us in managing expenses, to make the marketing expense more predictable quarter over quarter, which I think is a good thing in terms of managing the P&L. And also for the G&A expense, I think a lot of it is just proportionate to our headcount growth and to our continued investment in R&D as we continue to enter into new geographies and expand products. So we'll continue to remain disciplined and manage our expenses to make sure that we continue on the right path of margin expansion and continue to capitalize on this market environment and continue to drive growth.
That's great color. And for my follow-up, I did want to ask, given the relaunch of crypto in the U.S., how your crypto strategy might evolve now that you're getting that second at-bat, and specifically wanted to better understand where the crypto pricing is today. Do you see an opportunity to potentially be more aggressive in terms of take rates to attract more users, and how you see that pricing evolving over time as competition intensifies in the space?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that question. Extremely excited about the relaunch of crypto, and I appreciate you mentioning it's kind of our second at bat. We had crypto and we launched crypto back in 2019. Through the process of trying to get our company listed, previous administration, we spun it out to We Will Pay. We brought that crypto back to the brokerage platform, the main brokerage platform, back in August, kind of like a light speed project, if you will. And so I look at it exactly like that. This is our second opportunity to really knock it out of the park. What does that mean for us, right? So we're still in the early innings of crypto, at least crypto offering on our platform. I think we lean into the sophisticated fact of our active trading user base. And so right now we have approximately 100 basis points. Coinbase retail is about 150 basis points. I know some of our competitors use a variable model based on the actual token itself for pricing. And we are going to aggressively lean in to squeezing those crypto traders. Now, timeline on that business is probably going to be early in 26. I have to be careful on guidance. But when I think about it, we have an amazing opportunity to relaunch our crypto product with a whole new vigor that attracts the customers that call Webull home. Sophisticated, experienced, and active retail traders. We are going to cater our crypto trading product specifically to them. As we roll out especially new products in the crypto world, I don't want to give up too much on this call. We'll be announcing a lot of major new additions to our crypto offering to get us on the same level playing field as all of our competitors. Once we are on that playing field, we're going to aggressively take those active traders from our comps.
That's great color. Thanks so much for taking my questions.
The next question will come from Mike Rondal with Northland Securities. Please go ahead.
Hey, thanks, guys. Anthony, can you talk a little bit about the Meritz announcement and kind of the opportunity you have there globally? And is Meritz the first? Do you have other customers internationally you're helping like that?
So Meritz is the first publicly announced, but not the first. And when we say Meritz, we're talking about institutional customer bases or B2B business, which is a completely new line of business for us. We have been 100% focused on retail since we launched in 2018. Now we're spending a significant amount of internal resources and a significant amount of focus on targeting B2B partnerships in geographies where we don't currently operate a broker-dealer. We're even talking to B&B partnerships to institutional type partners in places where we actually do have a retail platform. Having said that, none of this revenue is yet even factored in to our current models and our current growth. And so the future, so Meritz is an example of getting access to South Korean retail without having to have a South Korean retail brokerage license. We're going to continue to focus on opportunities like that. And in my opinion, the institutional side of our business, which is just beginning, Meritz is the first announcement on a very long list of clients that are in the pipeline. That's going to be a huge boom for not only for our market share, but for our top and bottom lines.
And when would you expect Meritz to go live? Has it started? What does that timeline look like to ramp up?
So typically, institutional onboarding takes much longer than retail onboarding, right? We can open up a retail account in minutes, and our retail customers can typically trade within 5 minutes of downloading the app. It's very different for institutional. There is a lot more checks. There is a lot more approvals, sometimes even up at the board level. That being said, we are currently live with Meritz. We are currently trading on behalf of their clients' orders. And as we continue to grow the relationships, that the amount of flow that we receive from Meritz will continue to grow over time.
Got it. And then just lastly related to that, where will that revenue show up? Is that other revenues or in the equity and options line?
So this is actually one of the fun parts. So the revenues actually show up in our transaction volumes. So even if we see a slowdown in U.S. retail trading volumes, our trading volumes will continue to tick up because we're onboarding a lot of these B2B relationships. So it's going to be baked into the transaction revenue mixed in the equities and hopefully in the next several months options. Currently, we're trading equities only with Meritz.
Got it. Hey, thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Next question will come from Chris Brendler with Rosenblatt. Please go ahead.
Hey, thanks. Good evening, and congratulations on the strong results here. I'd like to ask about the funded accounts, which ticked up I know even if you back out the crypto, you did see a nice tick up there. I know there's been a little bit of a refocus of your marketing strategy towards assets over accounts, but given the gap between registered and funding, I'd love to see that close a little bit. So how are you thinking about funded account growth as you head into 2026? Thanks.
Sure. Hey, Chris. Well, funded account growth. So we're going to start seeing a lot more attribution coming from outside of the U.S. Like we mentioned on the call earlier, we have more than 700,000 funded accounts now that are outside the U.S. And we've seen the momentum and onboarding of funded accounts outside of the U.S. Basically, for the last 6 months, it was about 55%, 50%, right? 55% of new funded accounts coming from the U.S. Broker, about 45% coming from outside. That number is now completely equalizing, and we're at about 50-50. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing new funded account growth outpace outside of the U.S. outpace funded account growth in the U.S. I believe that's going to be the continued driver as the 13 broker dealers that we operate outside the U.S. start to really mature. If you remember, the first brokerage outside of the U.S. we opened was Hong Kong in Q3 of 21. The second one wasn't until Q2 of 2022, which is Singapore. We just opened our latest one in the Netherlands in September of 25. So these are all relatively young businesses that are in hyperscale mode. And so we're going to see a lot of low customer acquisition cost, new funded accounts really being driven from outside the U.S. And in the U.S., we're going to continue to focus on quality of our customers.
That's a super helpful color. Thanks so much for that. I wanted to add a quick follow-up on numbers. Does crypto or prediction markets have any impact on third quarter metrics like DARTs or trading revenues? And will those kind of transactions show up in those metrics in the fourth quarter?
HC, you want to take this?
Yeah, sure. So we actually.
Sorry, guys. I just got to pause. I just got to pause to give you a further prediction here. I'm piling. I just piled into more BM&R calls. Actually got some lottos, some 33 for this week lottos, because I think you're going to see, in addition to the Bitcoin breakout, which I predicted, I think you're going to see the equities related to the cryptos outperform Bitcoin itself in the last 2 hours of the day here. Because remember, crypto market, here you're seeing it right now. Okay, you can see how MSTR is outperforming Bitcoin now because the crypto market, the equity market is closed tomorrow. So there's going to be a premium built into the last hour or two. People will want to get ahead of that and have exposure for whatever gap might happen on Friday, because you have a whole day of trading Bitcoin on Thursday after a little bit of a breakout here. So I expect MSTR and BM&R not to be directly sensitive. Here we go. You see this, not to be directly sensitive to Bitcoin here in the last couple hours of the day. So don't watch every tick in Bitcoin here. We broke out of this 1 hour line. I just, like I said, I just picked up some lottos there, BM&R, pick whatever you want, but I'm getting some Friday lottos. Okay, sorry for that interruption.
The Webull Pay transaction at the very end of the third quarter. So what the third quarter metrics include is the AUM and funded accounts that were consolidated as part of the transaction. What's not included is the revenues, the transaction volumes, and the DARTs, because those take place over the course of the quarter, but the transaction did not close until the very end. But they will start to be included and presented as part of the consolidated group results starting in Q4.
Okay, great. That's helpful. And then I just have one more quick one, which is on Vega. It seems like this is a product that would help attract folks to your platform and potentially stay there longer. Any insights on the initial impact of Vega, and on the expense side, is there an ongoing expense for running this AI that you're outsourcing, or is it all developed in house? There won't be much additional expense.
Yeah. So the Vega AI launch is not only a huge thing for Webull. This is the future of investing, right? There is so much news flow, so much information at all investors' fingertips.
I got a $36 price target on BMNR for Friday, by the way.
Often it's like drinking out of a fire hose. Now, we've created in-house, to answer that question, in-house, we've created our Vega AI trading assistant. Not only analyzes your portfolio, but can advise you on high levels of risk and give you insights into implied volatility in some of your options positions. Right? This is a game changer for the industry. And so because we developed it all in-house, there is no increased cost, and the user engagement has been phenomenal. We're seeing tens of millions of actionable trading through the Vega AI trade assistant, or just analysis of earnings or consolidation of news. And every day we're seeing more and more engagements, and we're seeing regular engagements, meaning we're seeing users come back to Vega regularly. And I believe that this is now the beginning of a whole new way that retail engages in their own portfolio and accesses market information and market opportunity.
Wow, that's great. Well, I obviously need to try it out. Thanks so much.
Analyst needs to try
The
it
next
out.
question will come from Brian Vietin with Cyber. Please go ahead.
Great, thanks, guys. Anthony, so nice pickup in funded accounts this quarter. I think you said 50% of new accounts are trading crypto. Does that include the Webull Pay folks? And then looking ahead, could you speak to the opportunity in converting existing Webull funded accounts? I'm just curious on that, as I know your customer demographic is younger and digitally native. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly right. So the average Webull customer is in their young 30s. So very, very crypto native. And, you know, it really tamed me back in September of 23 when we had to strip out our crypto offering from our brokerage platform. Our customers were not happy with it. So bringing it back was imperative. Now that we have it back, and we have the opportunity not only to knock it out of the park with, you know, a better offering of crypto, especially for our customer type, we've been seeing great engagement for crypto native customers either coming back to Webull or discovering Webull for the first time. So like you mentioned, 50% of new funded accounts, 50% of them, the first trade they made was with cryptocurrency on the Webull platform. Those are not customers coming over from Webull Pay. Those are new customers to Webull in and of itself, simply because we now offer crypto. So we're going to continue to lean in to that type of customer. And like I mentioned before, make sure we give the tightest spreads and the best trading experience for the customer that calls us home. And that's the active, sophisticated type.
Very good, thank you. And then just one more, if I may, just on the future listings. I think at one point the plan was to get to 100 by year end. I'm not sure if maybe there's some, it's a little contingent on some of the regulatory dynamics, which you alluded to, but just the complexion of those future listings. Are you envisioning more so, listing established crypto protocols, or kind of newer tokenized assets where you might be more differentiated? Just any commentary on the listing strategy would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the fundamentals that we've always held here, whether it's crypto, it's equities, it's options, again, prediction markets, we want to give our customers the availability to trade as much as we possibly can offer. If that means, so you mentioned 100 as a number. I don't want to go on record and say we're going to have 100 different tokens available to trade by year end, but that certainly is our goal. Having said that, when we look at the opportunity for crypto, it's more than just offering new product types. It's offering a better experience to do so. So yes, the short answer is yes. We plan to have as many as many different opportunities and as many different offerings on the platform as we possibly can bring. And we plan to really lean into making sure our customers feel that this is the best place. Webull is the best place to trade.
Thanks, Anthony. Congrats on a great quarter.
Next question will come from Edward Engel with Compass Point. Please go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking my question. Appreciate some of the color you gave about funded accounts outside the U.S. Just kind of wanted to get a better sense on maybe some of the localized features that you're offering in some of these markets and kind of where the roadmap is, whether it's tax wrappers or savings accounts or local banking connectivity. Thanks.
Sure. So it really depends on the region. We've always had a single mentality here. We have one global vision, but we make sure that we execute locally. Well, what does that mean? It's simply every Webull broker dealer that we have, 14 around the world, has a local team. It's not an American that's sitting in London. We have a Brit sitting in London for that. Not only do they have a better feel for what that customer needs, they also have a better opportunity for local marketing, how to differentiate. That being said, a lot of those businesses are still relatively young, and we're constantly adding new products. Things like tax wrappers, for example, IRAs in the US or ISAs, ISAs in the UK. The UK, maybe too much. But as soon as we have the regulatory approval to add those products, we always do. And for the most part, there are 2 or 3 exceptions, but for the most part, every Webull entity will trade the local security in that country, as well as give customers the ability to trade U.S. products. The one example I can think of is Indonesia. There is no license yet in Indonesia for our Indonesian customers to trade U.S. securities. However, hopefully that'll change by year end. That all being said, we see the majority of transactions happening in our non-U.S. entities. The transactions are happening in U.S. products. And that goes back to things I've been talking about for the last year and change. The exportation of the U.S. retail trading experience is one of the largest growth factors that I believe we're going to see in the next year and a half, right? Especially when it comes to retail out of the U.S. We have seen the adoption of not only obviously ETF trading outside the U.S., but options trading specifically. For example, customer sitting in New York City has a position in NVIDIA yesterday, coming out with earnings at the close. And we have a customer sitting in Japan, also with a position in NVIDIA. They're looking at the same news flows. They're listening to the same podcasts. They're watching the same Reddit feeds. They're reading the same comments on the Webull community. Yet, a lot of times, they're not able to trade the same products. We're changing that. Now our customers in Japan can trade calendar spreads, can put on a condor, right? That doesn't exist for the most part outside of the U.S. And we are working very hard to make sure that we export that U.S. retail investor experience to everywhere outside the U.S., which is one of the main reasons why we're seeing such amazing growth in our non-U.S. brokerages.
Great, appreciate that color. And then, I guess quarter to date, we have seen a bit of volatility in the U.S. equity markets. Curious if you're able to provide any color on, I guess, how your users are kind of holding up through some of that. Thanks.
Sure. I think uniquely Webull, we are extremely well positioned for a rising VIX. Our customers, we've been offering the ability to short sell since the first day that we launched the platform in 2018. Right? Our customers, again, I keep saying this word sophisticated. I keep saying this word experienced. When there's volatility, our customers are trading more. And so just the past couple of weeks, we've seen explosive volume due to volatility. And I think Webull is probably uniquely positioned to weather volatile markets a lot better than our peers. That, of course, being said, long-term volatility is never amazing for a cyclical business. But I believe as a platform, we are accelerating into this volatility in the short term.
Great, thanks for that. And then, congrats on all the recent progress.
Thanks.
We'll conclude our question and answer session as well as conference call.
Okay.
Attending today's presentation.
All right, guys, that was
Disconnect.
crazy. I gotta say, listening to that again, Rhett,
Makes
I
me
added,
even more bullish, Ben.
Exactly. I added more. I'll tell you what I added. I added May 1250. So I'm going out and I'm getting big size, man. This thing's gonna be over 30% of my account, even with the pop today. So I added let's see. I have so many options. It's crazy right now. All right. I added May 1250. All right, at $1.23. I already have May 10. So I'm like, let me take it up a notch a little bit because I think previously I said by July, I think the stock's in the 20s. Listening to that, I almost have no doubt in my mind that we're going to be reaching the 200 DMA by January. Okay. Might happen sooner. So we're done at 13 in January. And then they put in have another one or two reports like this. And then this thing is solidly in the 20s. So these like May 1250 for like $1, those can really pay off well. So I added those. I also got real excited about this Friday because of the crypto breakout, which is faltering a little bit here right now. But I think there is the chance on Friday, after what we saw in the overnight market, after what we're seeing with IWM here, after what we're seeing with this Bitcoin breakout. Hopefully it resumes here. Let me look at the 5-minute. Yeah, it's faltering a little bit here, this breakout, but I'm optimistic that this is the breakout line that I was talking about earlier on Bitcoin, this 1 hour. I'm optimistic this was the breakout line. Look at all these moving. We're about to have bullish crosses on all of these. So hopefully it won't come back all the way down there to test it. And we can have a really good Thanksgiving in crypto.
Let's feast.
And then, what's that?
I said, let's feast.
Yeah. And then,
That's.
Yeah. And then we're going to have, all those crypto names that I added, hopefully explode, MSTR, BMNR, Galaxy, but also Bull will probably be a part of that as well on Friday. So I added $9.50 calls for 10 cents for Friday. So I added $9.50 calls for 10 cents Friday. Now they're 7 cents by 8 cents. And I added the May 1250 calls. And I really think that I'm going to be comfortable with the massive position in the stock to swing like 25-30%. So we can kind of see these moves. First to the 50 DMA, then the 200 DMA. I think it's happening over the next few weeks into January. We'll get to that 200 DMA is my prediction, no later than that. Very, very bullish there. And then I just want to reiterate, look at IWM just exploding here. Mm-hmm. Man, if I kept those call options, 50 cents. I bought them for 50 cents yesterday. They're now $3.
Oh,
6x. But I sold them early on the way up. Man, I got to learn to hold on to that. It's just like after a rocky month, it's like every time I'm up a little bit, I'm like thinking about taking some profits. But in any case, look, here's the other thing that I want to reiterate. MicroStrategy, BMNR, and Galaxy for the remainder of the day here, I think are very interesting bets next hour and 45 minutes. I don't think they're going to be moving tick by tick with Bitcoin ETH. I think even if Bitcoin now if it crashes, that's another story. But if Bitcoin just stalls out here and consolidates these gains right here, I think you're going to see a huge surge into the close on all of these names. Because remember, the crypto market's open all day tomorrow. Equity market is not. So there's risk here in being out, right? So people are going to want to have exposure in case on the day off, Bitcoin and ETH explodes. So you're going to see a premium coming into all three of these names in the last hour and a half. So I just piled into more call options on all three of these, MSTR, BMNR, and Galaxy for a short trade. I'll be selling maybe half of them before the close and holding the other half for Friday. But look at this. Such regrets on IWM. But in any case, let's go back to Bull. Bull is underperforming a little bit compared to some of these peers, up 7%. Hood is actually up more than that today. It's up 10%. So after
On news
listening,
this morning.
what's that?
From news this morning, right?
They did have some news this morning, but I think right now, acutely, it's also going up because of crypto. All right. There we go. I'm already holding a full bull position, but just added bull G due to Ben's conviction. Bull army. I like that. Maybe I need to rotate out of bull into bull G, but yeah, I don't know if it's necessary because I have so many call options right now. But yeah,
I'll get some bull G with you.
yeah, there you go. You got 700. Oh, by the way, we are going to do that. We're going to spin the wheel and give away a 6-month free subscription. I said if we get to 1,000 folks watching this, we'll also give out $200 cash, your Venmo or your PayPal. So we're at 723 now. All right.
Nice.
Go ahead and repost that stream. Hit that repost to stream wherever you're watching it, whether it's YouTube or X. Repost that stream here, and then let's get to 1,000 folks, and then we'll spin the wheel twice. Okay, 2 chances to win here. All right, let's do it right now because we're coming to the end of this. I gotta eat lunch. I don't know. Maybe I'll just
see Clean Spark
keep it going. Yeah, unbelievable. Clean Spark did really well today.
Up 12%.
Yeah.
I can't believe I sold all those.
I know. I sold the call options at the open. I did. I know. It's crazy. But
Dell's only up 6%.
We're making nice
Dell
money.
hit our target today. It was 135.
Dell hit the target. And by the way, what was the support of the morning show? 128.
Yeah.
On the morning show, I bought it at 128 actually, 128.50, but I sold it too early at like 130. So yeah, the target was 135 to 140, I believe, with the support of 128. Just beautifully called levels again, as usual. I got to be honest. But in any case, I think Bull needs to play a little bit of catch up here. Looking at IWM, okay, looking at Bitcoin.
Getting crazy.
All right, yeah, I think Bull might have a strong end of day run as well here. Because again, the possibility of a big move on Friday. And by the way, yesterday at the end of the day, look at the volume that came into Bull at the end of the day. It was crazy. It was about 5 million shares in just a few minutes. Yeah, that was then, right? Yes. No. It was one. Okay, it was the last 5 minutes. You see this candle in the last 5 minutes, 1.8 million shares. It was just increasing actually from 3 p.m. It was power hour basically. From 3 to 4 p.m. there was a dramatic increase in volume in Bull yesterday, from like 840 to 870, and then you saw what that led to in the overnight market with some very large blocks this morning. Very, very unusual volume heading to 10 plus. So given all these factors I just talked about, IWM, Bitcoin, Hood. I think a little bit of underperformance on Webull, and I'm predicting that we're going to maybe have similar volume into the close today to get this stock to close cleanly above the 20 DMA. And then if that happens, we're talking about 10 plus in play Friday. Those are my thoughts.
No, I like it.
Liking them.
You like those thoughts, eh?
Yeah. Position for it. So.
And what about those freaking call options I called out like 10 minutes, 20 minutes before Bitcoin exploded today?
Yeah, that was money right there.
That was crazy.
How much are you up on those now?
Well, I sold. I rotated to a higher strike. So on MSTR, I was up 100%. On the 190s, and I sold them and I bought the 200. I don't know if that was such a bright idea. That's what I did on MSTR. BMNR, however, I have not fully sold out of that one. And I added lottos for Friday. So BMNR, I'm up 66% from the initial call out on the Discord. That's a $32 next week's calls. I got in at $137, and they're $230 or so. But I bought some BMNR lottos for Friday in size. I'm hoping to be able to sell them, at least half of them at the close here. I got $33 calls for 56 cents. I'm currently up on them. They're 63 cents. But I got like a big position. I don't know. I might be being a little bit foolish, maybe a little bit of lack of discipline, maybe a little big size because I made a lot of money in the Webull calls today, throwing a little bit of money around here. But I definitely have to reduce that position before the close. All right. Let's see if there's any comments or questions over here. There was one earlier, but
GameStop still rolling.
Can easily run to 11. Crypto is doing a bounce. Fed rate cuts are coming. A lot of Fed people in support. Trump's power replacement is coming too. There was a question about geographic expansion that was covered during the conference call that we were listening to. And we got this one over here. Bull Army. Love it. All right. So, Rhett, why don't we spin that? Get ready to spin that wheel. What do you think? Unless there's anything else you guys want to add?
No, I mean, that's it. Hold on, let me refresh, see if any last
You covered it all, Ben, and obviously going into Thanksgiving tomorrow, so everybody just make sure you have a happy, safe Thanksgiving. That's for sure.
I love Thanksgiving for trading. I'll be honest. I'll enjoy the time off tomorrow, but I will be trading while I'm at the mall on Black Friday. Black Friday is usually freaking awesome for stocks. I got to tell you, especially these type of stocks we're in right now. I'm expecting some huge moves. Unless
you're going to the mall on Friday,
I pretty much always do with my kids. Yeah,
wow.
You go to the mall, but I'll be banking. I expect to be banking on things like Webull and BMNR and ONDS and things like that are gonna really explode on Friday. If the market doesn't crash, and I don't see any reason why it would. But we're spinning the wheel. Whoa!
What happened? I just saw a wheel.
No, too early. Hold on. Did we? Wait. Can you start over?
It's spinning. Keep spinning.
Wait, why are you getting
No,
cut
it's
off?
not spinning. It's just continuous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me know when you want it to spin.
All right, don't spin it yet. All right.
It's just gonna spin.
Hold on. Don't do it yet.
It doesn't mean anything.
Okay, I gotta get ready with the sound effects and everything. All right, are you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's spin that wheel. This is for 6 months subscription to 6 months or 3 months.
6 months.
6 months. Woo.
For Story Trading Discord.
Let's see.
The winner is who's the winner?
Who's that say? It's right in the middle.
It's red. It colored red. That means it's red. BISHQQQ.
Someone plays.
Congratulations to Bish QQQ.
Gonna get a 3-month subscription to our Discord. And here's another example of a stock that can be up huge on Friday. In fact, I think I'm gonna get back in. I played this earlier, MBOT, on some news. I got in at like 210 to 11, sold at 219. I'm gonna buy back some of those shares here because I think MBOT can make a huge move on Friday. Let me just look at the daily chart. I would not be surprised if MBOT made a move to possibly all the way to 200 DMA. 230 to 250 is possibly in play MBOT on Friday. All right. What happened? We didn't hit 1,000. I mean, Godfather's here. Godfather's, what's up?
How are you, Godfather?
Hey guys, sorry, I'm just busy. I'm about to post something for our Discord members. It's in a sector that has seen several of its peers move over 20% just in the last couple of days. And there's an imminent catalyst that's likely to see this name do the same.
Nice.
And just finished my work putting together the comparison on how these guys trade. And yeah, the opportunity here is even bigger than I expected it would.
Wow.
So look, I know that we've got a lot of promotions going on. I just put out a piece on, MyX. You can DM me and get on the wait list for these promo codes that are going to come out on Friday and get in early. I know, Dougie's got that. Story Trading Accounts obviously got that. Laptop Travel, I think, has got similar promos, but we're very limited spots, right? Red, if I'm wrong, we've only got
correct.
5 spots for each 60% discount, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely something you don't want to be missing out on, guys.
Yeah, I imagine they'll probably sell out
pretty quick,
in a few minutes or something on Friday. So not everyone, just to set expectations. Not, we do this because some people are price sensitive. We understand it. So if you're one of those folks who penny pinching a little bit, hopefully you'll be there right at the beginning and you can get in on that 60%. But For the rest of you who can afford it, we'll see you today. Just sign up. By the way, I also got some AEO calls. I finally did it, Godfather, because I think this is going to $25 after earnings. So I got into the $20 call options on AEO for next week. They report on Tuesday. They expire on Friday. So you saw what happened with ANF. Who knows? Maybe this can have a 20% move on next Wednesday after they report. So AEO got into some $20 calls. Wow, before I leave, look at this IWM, man. I had 100 contracts at 50 cents. They're now $3.50, but I sold them way too early. Very sad story. All right. Rhett, what's this comment here? Yeah, Tonex should start popping.
looks pretty good.
In the crypto space. It should start popping over here, especially if we hold this breakout. Needs to get over the 20 DMA. Maybe we'll finally see some insider buys or buybacks, company buybacks.
Something.
But this was not going to go without crypto and now without Bitcoin. So let's see. Hopefully this is it. But, it's really got to get over the 20 DMA, 94,000 to solidify this. This 1 hour, let's see, this 1 hour one, it might not last. I don't know. We did have a break of the 1 hour before back on November 9th and it failed. So it's not a guarantee here. So anyway. All right, Rhett, anything else?
No, I mean, you guys covered it. Just stay updated. I think we'll all just keep reposting that list so you guys can get on the list so you don't miss out. And then we'll send you that email around 8 a.m.
Now,
so stay tuned for that. What?
Sorry, go ahead. Finish up.
I was just going to say, stay tuned for that and keep on the watch out. Join the wait list. If you have any questions, just shoot us a DM or ping us under one of those comments. Join the wait list, and then we'll get back to you. I know some people have had an issue. I think it's on probably your end. They say on a web browser is fine, but for some reason, if they're doing, I forgot what extension it was, but if you're doing it on a I think it was Safari or something, they're having issues. So if you just go to Google Chrome, you guys should be good there.
All right, a couple last things for Godfather and also for the community here. First of all, you didn't get to the 1,000. We didn't get to the 1,000 goal. We said 200 cash giveaway, but I feel bad. So why don't we're going to spin the wheel for 100? How about that? We'll cut the prize in half since you didn't reach the goal. So stay tuned. We'll just spin the wheel again, and we'll do a $100 cash giveaway.
Hold on.
Is that an easy thing for you to spin the wheel again, right?
Hold on, let me try to.
It's not
fingers crossed. I didn't lose. Okay, yeah. All right.
Okay, fine. So we'll do that in a minute. But
you cut out.
Just two things I want to ask the Godfather. Did he happen to listen to that conference call a second time while it was playing there, Godfather?
Yeah. It builds conviction every time I hear that CEO speak. It seems clear to me that they are, strongly on the under promise and over deliver side. They've given all of the hints.
Yeah.
We'll see it. What's interesting as well is there's only 2 published estimates, but there were 6 analysts on the call. So I think that sort of predates some more coverage coming into this name.
Right.
And the other thing I wanted to mention, and maybe you mentioned this because I had to bounce off the stream for a bit, but we saw an anomalous boost in volume in bull at the end of the day yesterday, and that sort of presaged what we saw overnight.
All right.
Which again is this buying that's coming, I think, from Asia and Europe, frankly. So keep an eye on that. You could see that again as North Americans front run what could be another strong open for Friday.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I got some lottos for Friday again. I got 950. A little bit of it's a risk. I get it. But yes, exact same thought. And the second thing, I don't know if you heard my thesis here at the end of the day on Bitcoin. Oh, ETH is gone. But I'm thinking that these equities, the crypto-related equities, are going to have a very strong close this afternoon, regardless. As long as Bitcoin and ETH don't crash, even if they're just stable, I think you're going to see BMNR, MicroStrategy, and Galaxy rocket into the close because you can't trade them tomorrow. So there's risk of not having exposure as Bitcoin continues to trade over the next day. So I'm heavy into that, and hopefully we'll get a big pop and sell half of that. So Godfather, I hope you like that thesis. I don't know if you're playing it, but I feel pretty good about that thesis here in the last hour and a half.
No, I'm not playing that. I feel like I got enough risk on in this market.
All right.
But,
I like that BMNR and Galaxy looking great.
Yeah, I'm loaded up in those right now. I had IWM. All right. Anyway, so many. Oh, IWM is crap. I could have made 30 grand on that today. Anyway, let's spin the wheel one more time for $100. Let's get the drum roll going. Rhett, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. Oh, here we go. Let's see what happens here.
Who's going to get $100? Let's see. It'll be a good Thanksgiving, good Black Friday going in.
Green.
It's green. Rasco 7. Congratulations, Rasco.
Congrats. I will send you a message on the
Be
story.
in touch through the Story Trading DM account. Yeah, Story Trading DM.
Nice.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Have
Happy
a good one,
Thanksgiving.
everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
All right. Take
Happy
care. Bye.
Thanksgiving.